Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Side Panel. I am your host, AJ, and in this episode, I will be catching up with all of you as I review Marry Me, Blacklight, and Death on the Nile. That's right. All these movies, and nothing you really want to see. Let's get going with it, shall we? First up, I have to admit something to you guys here. I am a bit of a rom-com lover. I see them all. I watch them all. Well, not all of them, but those that are of high quality that you don't see on the Hallmark Channel, I tend to catch them. I'm a big fan of them. I can't help myself. I don't know why. I just love. So here we are with Marry Me. It is a 2022 romantic comedy drama starring Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. First off, I gotta say that Owen Wilson's nose up close looks like a broken penis. Now that I've said that, the movie was actually pretty good. As far as rom-coms go, you know, it's J-Lo, she's gonna be J-Lo, and J-Lo is J-Lo. But what was cool to see was Owen Wilson not be Owen Wilson. He toned down his normal stuff. He didn't like have the dorky smile or any of his little antics that you normally see in his movies, and he actually played a straight character. And I really enjoyed that. The story was exactly as you would think it would be. Everything about it was just, you know, it seemed that this movie was created just to show off J-Lo's new album. But, I mean, the songs in the movie were kind of good, and they did go with the story, so I was able to enjoy it. Yeah, just an old softy at heart. It is also a comic book adaptation. Now, I did read the original comic book, but this was years ago. If you guys had listened to our previous podcast known as the Panelcast, I couldn't tell you what episode it was because I'm not a geek of myself. Yes, I am. We did an interview with a man named Bobby Crosby. He is the creator of this book called Marry Me. But he also wrote another book called The Last Blood. And in that book, in that comic, was... I'm sorry, guys. I have all the alerts going off. In the comic was about how this vampire that had been starved for years was the creator of the zombie virus, because he had been starving for so long that he lost his mind, went a little crazy, and he just his vampire virus converted into like a zombie type of virus infection, and anybody he bit or tried to drain became infected in that way, which I thought was an interesting concept, and the comic book was really great. And then I read his other stuff like Marry Me and thought the eggs were great too. And so when I found out that this movie was based on this comic book, I was even a little bit more anxious to go see it, because any comic book adaptation I'll go check out, at least give it one chance. And surprisingly enough, it was actually really good. But I didn't remember enough about the comic to know how it related to it in correlation of, did it leave out anything? Was there anything different or anything like that? So I will say that I am, like I said, a fan of rom-coms, and this one was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Right now, you can check it out on the Peacock Network if you have it. If not, if you don't have any desire to see this movie, then, you know, cool. I will tell you this. I did like the movie to the point of where I was mad. I had to leave at the last 10 minutes of the movie to make it in time to see Blacklight, which was the movie after it. Because Blacklight was such a horrible movie, I was like, man, I could have stayed there and watched the rest of Marry Me and been in a better mood because of it. Blacklight is an action movie starring Liam Neeson and Aidan Quinn. And I mean, it's just like every other Liam Neeson movie. You know, someone grabs his family, and he goes and gets them back. The only difference here is that you can really tell that Liam Neeson's getting old, and that he must have been injured or something during this movie, because every time he tried to run, you can tell how much pain he was in. And I don't think that was the character, because he doesn't get shot in his leg until like the last 10 minutes of the movie, and then he starts limping around after that. But before that, he was limping around anyway, so can't blame it on the movie. You got to blame it on I'm guessing his injuries and his age. Liam Neeson is a brilliant actor. He's fantastic in dramas and even in comedies. And he needs to go back to those, because his time as an action star is over. You can tell that his body is done with it, and he's just not into it anymore. He's just there for the paycheck. And it carries over in the film, which is sad. This film had no redeeming qualities whatsoever. The special effects were crap. The action was crap. Everything was crap. And I wouldn't advise you to go see it at all unless you really want to watch Liam Neeson do something. What he does, I have no idea. But he does something. So, there you go. That was Blacklight. And finally, Death on the Nile. Now, for those of you Agatha Christie fans, know that a lot of her films, she's been out with a lot of films. A lot of her work has been adapted into film. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I got distracted. But recently, a few years ago, a film called Murder on the Orient Express came out, and that was another adaptation of hers. And it was starring Kenneth Branagh as her titular hero, Hercule Poirot. And it was a pretty good adaptation of her work, and I really enjoyed it. So much so that the wife and I decided for Valentine's Day we were going to go see the sequel to that film, which is this one, Death on the Nile. I thought this movie was good in story-wise. It was great to see a bunch of other actors and stuff in here. Some big names, Annette Bening, Russell Brand, Gal Gadot, Armie Hammer, even with all the controversy surrounding him right now, Letitia Wright, all these actors showing up and performing in this movie. And they did a pretty good job, except for the fact that it felt plastic at times. And because of that, I wasn't able to get into the film as much as I would have liked. The mystery is easy enough to follow along. The scenery was pretty great, but the camera work was pretty bad. My wife herself got a little nauseous because the camera was kind of floating all over the place, and she doesn't really like that kind of stuff. But, overall, it was a good sequel. It even had some characters carry over from the first film into this film, so a lot of that was enjoyable to see. You also get to know the story behind Hercule Poirot's mustache. I'm not going to give anything away, but you have to see it in order to understand it. And those scenes in themselves had more emotion and power in them than the main story. And that's what was sad about the whole thing. Enjoyed the movie. I'll watch it again. It just came up a little short, and which is sad for the amazing cast that I had in it. So there you go, people. That fills up this episode of the side panel. I'll tell you, I'll be back in the next episode to talk about, The Cursed and Uncharted. And I'm going to get to see a great re-release for one night only. I'm going to go see The Godfather. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I'm very excited to see it, especially in the theater. I think it's going to be awesome. So please remember to go visit all of the Forbidden Panel sites for all of the stuff that we have out there. We recently just released a new comic book, a new ZKS comic book, as well as a zombie calendar, which are available on our websites. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and we're all over the place. We did the CreepyCon show this past weekend in Ontario, the horror convention, and it was phenomenal. We met a lot of new people and got to make a lot of new fans as well. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the show. If you didn't like the show, well, no, too bad. But please remember to go visit those sites and show some love. Also, check out my friend Richard Duran. He's doing his own show now called The Crooked Smile Art. And he's doing a lot of cooking, a lot of customizing action figures. And a bunch of his artwork is also available during his podcast. It's what do you call it? It's a cooking video show that he's focusing on, but he has a bunch of other stuff in there, like the collectibles and all everything, like I said. So if you have a chance, go check him out, crookedsmileart.com. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll catch you guys soon.